Well, let me be really clear about Hamas. They're a terrorist organisation who can have no part in any future governance in Palestine. And what happened on October the 7th?
Is the two-state solution something that's even on the table right now? Take a look at this press conference over here with President Trump and Keir Starmer. They're talking about the possibility of a Palestinian state. And watch what President Trump says when he's asked about it. So we'll watch this clip together and then talk about it. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
Recognizing Palestine for statehood. Why are you waiting for President Trump to leave the country? Why can't you just do it right now? And isn't there a risk in rewarding Hamas with that?
Well, let me be really clear about Hamas. They're a terrorist organisation who can have no part in any future governance in Palestine. And what happened on October the 7th was the worst attack since the Holocaust. We have extended family in Israel. I understand firsthand the psychological impact that that had across Israel. So I know exactly where I stand in relation to Hamas. Hamas, of course, don't want a two-state solution. They don't want peace. They don't want a ceasefire. So I'm very clear where I stand on Hamas. Okay. On the question of recognition, I made my position clear at the end of July as to the timing, which has got nothing to do with this state visit, and I've discussed it with the President, as you would expect amongst two leaders who respect each other and like each other and want to bring about a better solution in the best way that we can. Thank you so much. Can I go back then to Robert at ITV?
Robert Person, ITV. Mr. President, you uniquely, you alone in the whole world, have the power to persuade Prime Minister Netanyahu to stop the demolition of Gaza City, to stop the starvation of Palestine, and to stop the killing of civilians. If not now, when will you exercise that power to tell him to stop?
Sure.
And then for both of you on...
But you do understand about October 7th.
You do understand. So believe me, I understand.
One of the worst days in the history of humanity. What happened, I have seen the tapes. Babies that are 4 months old and just chopped up to pieces. And you've seen the tapes and I've seen the tapes. You're a professional and so am I. And people forget about October 7th. I can't forget about it. So I want it to end, but I want the hostages back. I don't want the hostages used as human shields, which is what Hamas is threatening to do.
But as soon as they're back, that's the moment you will tell Netanyahu
to stop.
Well,
it would certainly help, but I have to have the hostages back. And I don't want them back piecemeal, as I said before. I want them back.
One thing that you can say about President Trump, whether you love him or you hate him, is that when it comes to Israel, he has been the #1 stalwart defender of Israel and what's going on over there, and been the #1 champion of Israel over Hamas. He has stood with moral clarity, and that's, I don't think that's anything that could be argued with. I think that's an objective statement. That's what you see in the guy. As far as a Palestinian state, as nice as that sounds, and as politique as that sounds, who exactly would be running this Palestinian state? Who over the past few decades have we even had the opportunity to talk to? Who would they be able to come to the table? Don't forget, so fine, in Gaza you have Hamas, and they're a clear terrorist organization. All these other radical groups, Hezbollah and whatever, outside of Israel, are also insane, crazy terrorist organizations that only want to destroy Israel. But even the more, quote-unquote, moderate Palestinians in the so-called West Bank, in the Judea and Samaria area, the so-called West Bank under Mahmoud Abbas, the so-called Palestinian Authority, is also pay for slay. They are, if in other words, if somebody from their area does a terrorist attack on Jews in Israel, that family is compensated for their good deed that they've done. Pay for slay. They are rewarded for their killings. And so even the more moderate, right, compared to Hamas, they're the more moderate. But how is that even someone that you can talk with? It's not about a two-state solution. You never find protesters, you won't find anyone in the Palestinian areas that are saying, we want a two-state solution, we want to live side by side. You don't find that. right? You hear from the river to the sea, which is the entirety of Israel. And you cannot have a discussion, never gets off the ground, with somebody that seeks your destruction. It's not about getting a Palestinian state. It's about destroying Israel. So here in this video, we find once again, President Trump saying, I can't be behind a Palestinian state. That is a reward for Hamas. I can't get behind that sort of thing. I think too much about October 7th. I think too much about who would be involved in any sort of deals and two-state solutions. And right now, that's just not an option on the table. And so, yeah, that's I think that's in this situation, in this particular discussion point, this is a leader and this is leadership. If you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.